Ladies and gents, welcome back. We are finally going to be drafting Arthur Morgan's Winter Gunslinger coat. And I've been waiting so long to do this. It has taken a while, but let's get to it. Given that this jacket is from a video game, I had to kind of get creative and do things how they would have been done in the 1800s. Right now, I am just making a simple outline of how the front panels look, how the back panels look, and the collar, all the little bits and pieces of what puts the jacket together. And I am going to be doing some measuring to make sure it fits right. And of course, we're probably going to do multiple variations because it's not going to be perfect and our bodies aren't perfect. Also, all these measurements are without seam allowance. I usually add that when I am adding it to the fabric. So just keep that in mind too. And of course, I'm being creative here. I had to figure out how to measure the cuff. So I decided to bring out the roller, and it's about the same thickness of the gold part. So I went from there to his hand, and from the knuckles all the way to where the cuff meets. It's about the same size. So I went ahead and measured that on myself to see from my knuckles all the way to my wrist. And that's how I figured out the size on how to get the cuff. And it's a little strange, but like I said, you gotta get creative because there's no pattern for this jacket. And there is duster patterns and other jacket patterns, but I'm gonna do it as authentically as I can. So I decided to do it this way. My measurements were about 2.5 inches. It seems a little big, but this cuff is a little on the bigger side. So I'm gonna go with, I initially went with 3 inches, but I went down to 2.5 because that seems like it's not too big and not too small and looks about as accurate as possible from his jacket. And I also wanted to just see if I could do it. And yes, I'm crazy because I'm doing this all from scratch and drafting everything by hand and doing it all by hand. But don't worry, I'm going to be sewing it with a sewing machine because that's too much. Like guessing right now. And then for the arms, you do this circumference of your armpit there. And then of course you divide it by 2 on each one. It's a lot of dividing in math because we're doing 4 different parts. Because I'm trying to get it as accurate as possible. And you can see there's a seam there, so that's 1, 2, and then the 2 front ones are separate too. And then the arms are going to be the hardest. But we're going to try this for now, so that's the length of my arm. And then we are going to do a shallow arch because this is a thicker jacket, so it's going to be more relaxed. And then we're going to put the back a little bit more shallow on the arch right there. And then we're going to narrow it down because it's not going to be, it's more fitted of an arm. And then a 2.5-inch cuff, which we estimated with his hand. And then for this, it's going to be a little bit shallow too, because you don't want it super fitted, because it's kind of like a working jacket. And we're going to have another layer inside of it, so we need that extra space. And then we got to get, I did the chest, and then you divide it, and then we have to divide ours by 4. So I did add a little extra to each one, just to be safe. And let's see here, what else? Oh yes, and then this is going to be the neck to the shoulder. And that's going to be the front and the back. It's the same thing. And then I measured the length is going to be shoulder, and I did 2 inches under the knee to be safe. And then the collar divided by 2 because there's a seam right down the middle. And then I decided to do a 4.5-inch collar because it's a pretty wide collar, as you can see, because when it's completely closed it does cover a part of his face a little bit if you really wanted it to. So this is our diagram, and let's see if it works. So it's time to get out the wrapping paper and go from there. just wanted to double check. This is how the front is going to look, and I'm making sure that it's not too little. It is a little too much. So I did end up cutting down that extra bit, just a little bit, because the center point is right where I'm pointing, and it's a little too long on that side. But practice makes perfect. Now is the hard part, is the sleeves. I've never made sleeves before, and my initial thought you see here, that little guy right there, of doing it this way, but this only gives me one seam, and this jacket has two. And this is a more modern way of doing the sleeves, and I know for sure they didn't do it like this. So, oh, I'm glad I got this book when I did. Now this is for women though, so I'm going to have to make it a little bit wider, but it's about the same. We're going to try and do this. And I kind of did a drawing last night. Don't mind the wonkiness because it was just a sketch. But I'm going to try and do it this way, but make it wider down here. And then instead of having it, because it looks freaking complicated. You know, my husband was confused. But they fold it. It's folded. So, I think I know how I'm going to do it though. Because where it's folded, I'll just cut that part too. So it'll be on the inside and then the elbow. We're going to try it. And pray that it works.
So here we have our arm, the scariest part of this project. So I believe what we have to do is from here, this is all the sleeve completely, and then you fold it in half. Could be wrong. We are going to figure this out though. So I am going to, because see here's a round part here, so this is the top of the sleeve. So that would be here, that round part that we need. And then since it's kind of fitted, as you can see there, I think this will work out. Because it's, I don't know. What we're going to do is we're going to do the practice fabric first. And then I'm probably going to do it 2 different ways, just to make it easier and less complicated. I'll do one where the fabric is folded in half. And then this way, right here, this seam I will cut. So then I get my 2 seams, if that makes sense. And then one, well, we'll see if that works. If that doesn't work, then we'll cry. I think we'll be okay though, because I think this is folded in half. Because from the looks of it, it looks like it's folded in half. We'll find out. But I'm going to get another one of these drawn and cut out. And then from there, we will use the practice fabric and see how that goes. I'm not too worried about these ones, because it's just the length and everything, and those ones look good. I will have to adjust the top, but let's do another one of these, cut them out, and then might have to adjust the armholes on these. I'm pretty sure we will, because they're just perfectly round. Well, not perfect, but, and they need to be a little bit more oval. Because I'm using this book to help guide me, because that's time period. This was, well, Red Dead takes place in 1899, and he's got some wear on that jacket, so he might have had it wet. 2, 3 years. I would say 4, but I think it'd be more worn with everything he does. So I'm assuming around 2 years old, 3 years old. There's a little bit of wear, but not a lot. So, and this is from 95. So 96, 97. Let's see here, 98, 99. So 97 and 98. And the patterns are about the same for the men, at least with this one. These ones, of course, not, but this is just plain sleeve. But we will test it and see if it works. So let's go ahead and cut this out and do another one and fix up our panels for the body itself. So 2 inches down from you. From the collar. From the collar. Where's the collar? You gotta put that collar on. Where does it go? So it'd be like right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. You put this. This, and then this goes. This goes in the middle. This goes on like this. And then like grab it.
You could take off the
Top right here. See?
So it made double collar then.
That's what it looks like, because it's this is right here. So this part
That would be the
is
collar.
right here.
But then it goes all the way over here, so you get in the middle. So then I do need to back it up.
So you need to cut this all off. And then the collar is on here. And it stops here, because that's the
extra part for the buttons.
yeah. But it looks like,
So this
move
would
your
be,
hand. It should be way over here. Right here. So let's,
I don't need that one right now.
okay, so you went too far.
So after 2 hours of fighting, getting assistance, and staring at the pattern, staring at the pictures, which I'm not complaining, But I think we finally got our drafted pattern for Arthur's jacket. Now, next step is to do the prototype. So I'm going to be using sheets that I have left over and trace out all these patterns, add my seam allowance, which I'm going to be doing 2 inches to be safe because we also have an interior. So we're going to go ahead and try that out, see how that works. We're going to sew it all together, fix what needs to be fixed to get it perfect before we even start to look at the actual fabric. So that is the next step to this plan. And thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode
of this multiple part series. And don't forget to always be yourself, be unique. Ladies and gents, we will see you in the next one, hopefully in a week or two.